Welcome back to Ride Rescue and this episode of the Camaro build. In this episode I want to get the new dash on. You can see this is the original dash. It's peeling, it's heavily warped. This edge it looks like had been epoxied on, and it worked for a while, but now it is all peeling up across the back. And this is like a fiberglass or a plastic, and it's got some cracks and breaks in it, so there's, I doubt, any way at all to restore this dash, so I bought a new one. So let's open it up and see what kind of quality this is. I bought this from Rick's Camaro, Eckler's online. It's got some fasteners. Wow, I'm impressed. It's got a nice texture to it. Really nice rolled edge, like the factory original. That should be more rigid and solid. I might have to reinforce that if I can't get that to stay flush against the side. It doesn't have the plastic backing like the original. It looked like it had a big crack in it, but it's just the way the molding is. I'm disappointed it doesn't have plastic reinforcing behind these areas. But quality-wise, it looks excellent quality. I like the feel of it. It's soft. Well, it looks really good. Hopefully it fits good. Alright, now I can put the steering wheel back on. I have to be really careful with these screws going into that base. They strip out really easy. There's a pin for the horn. I have to make sure that's lined up. And I disconnect the battery so it's not honking at me constantly while I'm putting this together. These are screws that easily strip out as well. I've learned from experience. So listen to somebody who's done it. There is a top and a bottom, but it can only go on one way. It just has to fit over those screws. And it's done. Now all I gotta do is dust everything off. Yeah, I'm very impressed with how it fits. It's got really good contours to the ends. Everything lines up beautifully. These ends, the contours and the fitment are really good. This one at the heater though, just like I suspected, I don't like the way that one fits at all. It's got too much flex and it's just staying out. What I could do, in fact what I think I will do, is put some velcro on both sides of that and just velcro it down, because it doesn't take much. It's really sticking out, but looks good. I'm gonna get this installed first, and then I'll start playing with the dash itself. Well, before I put the dash pad on, I want to start with getting this plastic grab handle piece and the emblem back in. It's just a matter of, there's a few little horseshoe clips that screw in on the back, and then the emblem. there's a little bit of an angle to these chrome pieces. Okay, we'll get this vent in. We'll start by replacing this vent that's all discolored and lost its chrome. I'm not really happy with the way this is so loose, and it's right by the heater switch. It has a tendency to just stick out, and I think in time it might just keep getting worse. So I've got some velcro, and it's in a big long spool, so I just snip off a piece and stick it on there. This has got a really aggressive adhesive on the back of it. And then I'll do the same thing where I'll just go ahead, I'll apply the velcro, peel off the backing. Now when I stick it next to the heater switch there, it'll bond and hold that over. I need these clips. It's just a matter of lining up those clips with the holes. Wow, I'm very impressed with that. That's a very nice dash. Now there's a screw on each end. When the next guy needs to take this out, if and when, we'll be able to just pop that Velcro. It's not literally glued on. But yeah, I am very impressed with how this fits. It's interesting that sticks out a little bit right there. That's the way all of them were from the factory. Same issue. There's a big opening right here for the air conditioning duct on an air-conditioned option car, and there's just no way to attach that. It's interesting that you still have the same issue. And then there's two screws above each one of these gauges. That is a really nice dash pad. When they said show quality, they meant it. Now I'll just get this glove box liner in, and this dash is finished. It's time to start putting in the console, if I can remember how to do it. First off, we want to put in the large bolts that hold it down. One in the middle and one in the back. Since we're bolting down plastic, we don't want to get too carried away and tightening it up. Just want to make it snug. Now when it comes to the wiring, since you can't get that light through the back, you have to run everything else through. And then it does have a little protective shield that goes on the top of that light so that it doesn't get too hot. So the two lights go to the shift window, and we've got a ground. Now when it comes to all the wires, there's three of them, and they all have the same connector. The one purple one I know goes at the bottom because there's two that are together, but the other two are identical and could go in either one, so I'm going to have to pull up my photograph that I took so I know which one goes where. Okay, so it's purple, and then green, and then pink. Okay, we've got the back light. It comes on with the door, that's good. And then have one light and two lights. Perfect. Now I want to put in the seat belt piece, and it has a little spring mechanism on it. And that spring mechanism goes to the door prop. So I will start with getting this in place. And the door prop has a little post in the middle that lines up. It's got a lot of felt on it from the new door. Now I need to get the spring connected. Okay, we're ready to put it in. I'll check, make sure the door lines up. Nope. I need to twist the hinge just a little bit. Very nice. So the lights go on the base, and that sits centered up. And we are done with the console. I'll hook up the battery and make sure the neutral safety switch works. Okay, this is the test. Will it turn over? And the true test is to put it in gear. And nothing. Neutral. So the welt liner, I want to spray mount it to the back of this seat piece. You can see where it has been screwed down a couple of times over the years. They've used a finish screw. I'm going to just spray mount it down. There's a stitching across this piece, and I want to get that stitching perfectly aligned so that when you look behind the back seat, and you can see it in the back window, and you can kind of see it when the top is up. I want to line that up so that that stitching is just right along that edge. Now you can see what I was after. I have this nice stitching right along the top of that rail, and that will actually show in the back window and along the back seat. You can see where these seat belts have been lying across the back seat with the top down, how sun faded they are. And this is the front seat belt. You can see it is drastically faded as well. So before I get everything all strapped in back here, get it ready for the back seat, I have a little trick for doing these seat belts. I'll show you what that is. So there's a couple of ways that I've done it. Typically I start by taking all the seat belts out and washing them really good. But these just have some areas that are sun bleached, and I really don't see the need to completely take them off. So I will start by wiping them down with some good surface wash. And we'll test this out, see how it looks. If I can pull it off without literally having to take it off, then I'll just do some little touch-ups. But if I have to remove the whole seat belt and clean them and take them all apart, then I will. So this is a little trick that I've found over the years. Works great on touch-ups for vinyl and for fabrics. It works awesome for touching up the carpet. This center hump is all bleached out, so I'll do the same thing with that. Now if we just mist it on, you don't want to get it really wet. You just want to do enough of it so you just kind of lightly blend it across the seat belt so that it's not drastic. I don't want to paint the whole thing if I don't have to. I just want to mist the area where it's all sun faded. And that should be enough. There's also an area on the back seat area where it's been lying on the floor that's sun bleached, as well as this area. So once that little touch-up I did dries, then I will do the whole seat belt. And I'll do the same thing with this center area. It was very bleached out. It's got this purple tone on the sides. I'll just kind of feather it out. I don't want to really coat it too much. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's a pretty drastic difference. And then I can just blend it into the floor. The floor has got a good black tone to it, so I don't need to paint all of the carpet. I just want to do the obvious areas that really stand out when you're seeing it at a car show. Now, if these were a different color, then I would mask them off. But since this is a vinyl paint, a little bit of overspray is not going to be noticed at all, as long as I'm really careful and not to get a heavy coat on them. Just like that, it's renewed. I'll do the same thing with this area before I get everything finished. Finish these back seat belts, and then I can get this back seat in. Looking good.